Some people fail to notice their own insensitivity. I often come across individuals who don't appreciate the kindness shown to them. But what about outright malice? Some just accept sarcasm and spite as part of life, brushing it off as normal behavior. I hadn't given much thought to this until someone pointed it out to me. It was exactly how I used to be. My name is Vivian, my husband, Caleb, and I work at the same company and recently tied the knot at the end of last month. The start of a marriage is critical, my married friends often reminded me. I never imagined I'd face issues with my mother-in-law, but the signs were there from the beginning. About 2 weeks into our marriage, summer vacation arrived. Caleb initially wanted to skip visiting his family that year since we'd been exhausted from the wedding preparations, but I convinced him otherwise, saying, "It's a yearly tradition." Eventually, he agreed to set aside a day for the trip. Given what I had seen of his mother's affection toward him, I assumed she'd be thrilled to see him. Remembering my friend's advice, that the early days shape the relationship with a mother-in-law, I decided to make a good impression. I called my approach the thoughtful daughter-in-law plan and set it in motion. When we arrived at my in-laws' home that afternoon, Caleb's mother greeted us with a bright smile. "Welcome back, Caleb," she said warmly. Shortly after, my father-in-law appeared, grinning. "How have you been?" he asked. Truth be told, I always felt a bit uneasy around him. Sometimes, I'd catch him watching me, and it made me uncomfortable, but he seemed like a kind person. As I watched my mother-in-law happily chatting with Caleb, I found her animated expressions pleasant to observe, but then, our eyes met, and her expression shifted. Suddenly, she looked displeased. I realized I had been staring and quickly apologized. "Sorry, I was lost in thought," I said. "If you were tired, you didn't have to come," she replied curtly. "Huh?" But Vivian came to. Caleb began to speak, but his father called him over just then. With a sigh, he excused himself, leaving me alone with his mother. I saw this as a chance to bond with her. Oakland, is there anything I can help with?" I offered. She seemed indifferent at first but then suddenly brightened. "Actually, we're out of a particular herb seasoning. Caleb loves it. Could you go pick some up? The shopping center is about 30 minutes away," she said, her mood now noticeably better. "Of course, I'll go get it," I agreed enthusiastically. Coincidentally, I also loved that seasoning. It wasn't widely available, and I'd struggled to find it at times. Concerned it might be out of stock, I checked nearby specialty stores and even called ahead to confirm availability. Luckily, I found a store just 15 minutes away, so I drove there and picked it up. I returned in less than an hour and found my mother-in-law in the kitchen, preparing tea. "Oh, you're back early. Don't tell me you couldn't find it. You do realize coming back empty-handed wouldn't be acceptable, right?" she asked skeptically. "Of course not, I made sure to get it," I responded confidently. She looked genuinely surprised. As our eyes met, she asked, "You actually found it?" "I did," I explained. "A store nearby carries a variety of products from the same brand. You should check it out sometime." I thought she'd be pleased, but her expression soured, as if she'd just tasted something bitter. Oakland, did I do something wrong?" I asked hesitantly. She paused, then suddenly said, "Oh, I just remembered, we need a few more things. This time, you'll have to go to the shopping center." I picked up on what was happening. While she wrote out a shopping list, Caleb walked in. "Oh, Vivian, you're heading out again? I'll come with you. I can carry the heavier bags," he offered. "Caleb, I was just about to serve tea. Vivian is capable of going on her own, aren't you?" his mother interjected. "If there's time for tea, why don't you go instead?" "No need to send Vivian," Caleb countered. "I'd rather Vivian handle it," she insisted. It was clear she was looking forward to tea time with her son. "Why don't you stay and have tea with Mom?" I suggested, but she quickly shut the idea down. "No, just do whatever you want," she said dismissively. Let her go, then. "At least this way, we get some time alone, kind of like a date," Caleb said with a grin. "It's just a shopping trip," I thought, amused. By the time we returned, it was dinner time. "Caleb, I ordered your favorite sushi," my mother-in-law announced cheerfully, her earlier grumpiness gone. It seemed she was quite a straightforward person. "I got it from our usual place, Deluxe Sushi, just for the family," she added. On the dining table sat a sleek black sushi container. My father-in-law was already seated, smiling as he waited for us to join. Caleb peeked inside and frowned. "Mom, one of these looks different," he noted. Indeed, One container had a different selection: egg, shrimp, and tuna. The others had a more premium assortment. "Oh, that," my mother-in-law said casually. "The restaurant made a mistake with the order." "Did you ask for a refund?" I asked, surprised by her nonchalance. "A refund? Well, they're our regular spot, so." She trailed off. "Even if they're regulars, they should fix their mistake," I pointed out. "It's none of your concern, I'll handle it," she replied sharply, clearly annoyed. She then slid the different sushi set in front of me. Caleb noticed immediately. "Mom, why is Vivian getting the odd one out? Just call the restaurant and have them fix it," he said, puzzled. Though he had a point, I actually preferred the standard selection. "Oakland, it's okay. It's unfortunate that they got the order wrong, but this is actually more to my taste," I assured her. "Really?" she asked, surprised. "Yeah," Caleb chimed in. "I remember you always eating mostly desserts whenever we went for sushi." "Well, if Vivian's happy with it, I won't argue," he said, settling back. Meanwhile, my father-in-law had already dug into his sushi, unfazed by the entire exchange. I was taken aback by his nonchalant reaction, despite the restaurant's mistake. Just as we were finishing the meal, my mother-in-law clapped her hands and announced, "Time for dessert, Caleb's favorite cheesecake. I made just enough for the family." Coincidentally, it was also my favorite. She opened the box and carefully plated the slices, but there were only 3 pieces, one for Caleb, one for my father-in-law, and one for herself. There was none for me. "Mom, where's Vivian's slice?" Caleb asked, frowning. "I only prepared enough for the family," she replied matter-of-factly. Caleb blinked in confusion. "What do you mean by that?" She scoffed. "There's a limit to how much you can fake politeness, sending you on a pointless errand, acting composed, even suggesting a store to me. You really do go all out, don't you?" Caleb shook his head. "Vivian isn't pretending. This is just how she is, always thoughtful." A heated argument erupted between mother and son, escalating too fast for me to follow. Meanwhile, I caught sight of my father-in-law smirking as he observed them. "This takes me back," he mused. "My late mother tormented my wife in the early days of our marriage. The whole only for the family act, that was her specialty. The daughter-in-law got nothing, nothing at all." His words seemed directed solely at me. "What are you trying to say?" I asked. "You remind me of my wife, always smiling, always taking things in stride. Back then, she never complained, but she'd end up in tears when scolded." "So, you're saying I'm like my mother-in-law?" I chuckled dryly. "Well, at least I'm not crying." He leaned in slightly. "In this family, a daughter-in-law isn't considered part of the family, more like a convenient housekeeper. My wife is just passing down what she endured." His words, coupled with his eerie smile, made me feel sick. And then, something in me snapped. I let out a laugh, sharp and unexpected. The room fell silent. All eyes turned to me. "I get it now," I said, my voice steady. "Since I'm not considered family, I'll be filing for divorce." Gasps echoed through the room. Caleb let out a heavy sigh. "Vivian, please don't leave me," he said, desperation in his voice. "I'll cut ties with my mother if that's what it takes." I narrowed my eyes. "Not your father, too?" "What?" My mother-in-law's voice trembled with disbelief. "You're willing to abandon your own mother for this woman? A woman who's nothing but a manipulative flatterer?" Her words hit me like a slap. No matter how I tried to interpret them, it was pure contempt directed at me. But what unsettled me more was her tone. It didn't sound like a mother hurt by her son's decision. It sounded like a woman betrayed by a lover. A chill ran down my spine. Caleb, however, remained unfazed. His gaze toward his mother turned ice cold. "That's the issue," he said firmly. "Mom, if you truly cared about me, you wouldn't treat Vivian, my wife, like an outsider." His words brought everything into focus: the sushi, the cheesecake, the little remarks. My mother-in-law had carefully orchestrated it all to make me feel unwelcome. At first, I dismissed it as coincidence, a misunderstanding, but now, it was clear, she had never intended to accept me. And then there was my father-in-law, watching, enjoying the spectacle, never interfering. The betrayal stung deeper than I had expected. "Mom, you're really saying this after everything you went through?" Caleb asked. His mother paled. Caleb turned to his father. "Did you know?" His father feigned innocence, but Caleb saw right through it. "So, you let Mom suffer at the hands of Grandma?" he demanded. His father merely chuckled. "Poor Vivian, my wife was in the wrong. he said lightly, his gaze silently urging me to keep quiet. I glared at him. Oh, don't play the innocent bystander now, you knew all along, and you did nothing. My father-in-law scowled. Ungrateful daughter-in-law, you should have just endured it. He had been enjoying my mistreatment all along. My mother-in-law turned to me. You understand, don't you? I had no choice, I had to endure it, too. I shook my head. No, if you truly regretted your past, you'd be breaking the cycle, not continuing it. Then, I faced Caleb. If you're serious about cutting ties, it's with both of them, I said. He hesitated for only a moment before nodding. Of course. And just like that, Caleb severed ties with his parents. We changed our contact information immediately. But my mother-in-law, believing an apology would fix everything, kept showing up at our home. My father-in-law, furious over the fallout, blamed me entirely. It's all your fault, he raged. Apparently, his wife had started dredging up their past, throwing accusations at him. It's because you never defended me, she would shout. Their once united front crumbled into endless fights. They even tried reaching out to us again, but I had no patience left. The next time you show up, I'll call the police, I warned coldly. A few months later, we moved away. I never heard from them again. Rumor said my mother-in-law, abandoned by her son, lost all will to care for her husband. Their home descended into chaos. Through it all, I realized something. I had been oblivious to so much. I don't know if I'll ever be able to fully change, but from now on, I'll strive to be more aware. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Stay stunned.